goes with miles of hobby.
Hi, I'm Patrick McDonald, the Uber critic from HollywoodChicago.com and the Chicago Film Tour.
And I'm your holiday elf on a shelf, Ken Candela, the Movie Wag.
Ken, we're back together after 2 years to do our annual holiday overview of great films, Pat and Ken at the holidays.
It's great to be back with you, Pat.
Oh, it is.
And we did have to take a bit of a break, and I think we should share it with the audience at home.
We got to be honest, Ken.
I've been on the run.
You've been on the lam.
Absolutely.
All right.
But everything's been cleared up, and I'm back here to spend some holiday cheer with you.
Great, great. Ken, this is our Christmas Classic segment, the Christmas Classic films. And we did something unusual for our first overview of the Christmas Classics.
We screwed up.
We screwed up. We went for the title, A Christmas Memory, the Truman Capote short story, a memory about his childhood in the South. And you watched the 1966 version, and I watched the 1997 version. The story is a delightful little Christmas story set in the Depression.
Right, it's a period piece.
Yeah, supposedly Truman Capote is a boy. He's named Buddy in this teleplay, and it's just basically him living in a boarding house with his aunts, uncles, and Sook.
Right.
In your version, played by
the wonderful Geraldine Page,
and my version, played by the great Patty Duke.
$12.73.
I make it exactly $13.
Oh, I hope not, buddy. We can't mess around with 13. The cakes will fall. We'll put somebody in the cemetery. I wouldn't even get out of bed on the 13th.
According to my calculations, we have $12.73.
I get exactly $13.
Oh, my. I do hope you're wrong, buddy. We can't be messing around with 13. The cakes will fall or somebody will wind up in the cemetery. You know I don't even get out of bed on the 13th.
Let's talk about this story. What do you think about the story?
It's really a slice of life. Okay? There's no car chases in it. There's no special effects. It's really giving you kind of the perspective of what it was like to live during the Depression, when the commercialism of Christmas really did not exist. Right. There wasn't an expectation of a lot of presents. The expectation was in the holiday tradition, as we saw in the story. I love the fact that they traditionally made fruitcakes. Right. That was really the big to-do for the holiday. And actually the whole town looked forward to Sook's fruitcake. And it was a way for her to somewhat pay back neighbors, for people that maybe the grocer who cut you some credit. Exactly. The year. So it was your way of repaying that generosity. Because it was really a time when giving was more important than receiving. Absolutely. What did you think of Geraldine Page's performance? Geraldine Page, if you go back and look at her body of work, I mean, she was an actress that always had a sense of, she almost seemed broken. And there's such a frailty about her, and especially in this performance. Interesting. That you really kind of, again, forget that it's Geraldine Page, and you really believe that she's the character.
I know where we can find real pretty trees. Pine cones as big as pineapples. Because it's way off in the woods. It's farther than we've ever been. In comparison, I think Patty Duke's performance was
it was vulnerable yet open.
You always thought of me as the poor little sister who wouldn't write, like a burden you had to bear because we're the same blood. But this just takes the cake, and I won't stand for it.
In my version, Truman Capote, who wrote it, is actually the narrator.
Ah.
Well, I'm disappointed. Who wouldn't be? With socks, a Sunday school shirt, some handkerchiefs, a hand-me-down sweater, and a year's subscription to a religious magazine for children.
Because he did have an adult buddy in my version, but obviously it wasn't Truman Capote, long dead from alcoholism. So Ken, what was your Christmas bells?
I love the simplicity of it, the authenticity of it, and truly the warm message that it sent. I would give this a solid 3.5 bells.
Ken, I'm going to go you one better. I love this story. I think it's a new Christmas classic. I'm going to go perfect score. 4 bells for the 1997 version of A Christmas Memory. All right, Ken, our second film for this classic Christmas holiday segment is a tradition we started a couple of years ago, and that is...
The Holiday Tin.
The Holiday Tin.
Here's the Holiday Tin.
And to explain this, when we started doing this, traditionally, we did it on a blog.
Yes.
So we went over a bunch of films. When we finally started taping it, we had gone over so many films, so many classic films that people remember, but we didn't go over them in our first video segment. So we're kind of catching up, if you will, with that holiday classic stand. So Ken, what's in that holiday tin? Name that first one.
Well, we have White Christmas.
Christmas in Connecticut.
A Charlie Brown Christmas.
The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
And Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Great. And since 2 years ago we picked out Miracle on 34th Street, we have to add another one. And Ken, what are we adding?
Love Actually.
Love Actually, the modern new classic.
I'm going to put it in the tin.
Put it in the tin, Ken, and let's
shake up the tin.
Oh, what's going to be?
You want to just reach in?
Yes, I will.
I'm going to move it around a little bit.
I'm moving it around, and I've got,
drum roll,
got the one we're going to do, and that will be A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Good grief, Pat.
Good grief, Ken.
Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer.
Do you remember seeing it for the first time?
Mid-60s?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure I did.
It premiered in 1965,
okay.
Ken. Yeah. And of course, it became a traditional classic every single year before the proliferation of cable. You always knew when it was going to be on. You always made sure you were there.
It was always on CBS in the early years.
And you know, it has an interesting cachet. This was a radical departure from any kind of Christmas specials. In fact, it kind of reinvented the Christmas special with its use of jazz score.
Who was the composer of the music? In
the great jazz pianist Vince Guaraldi, and he's the one that wrote all those amazing songs. Go into any piano bar during the holiday season, and inevitably you'll hear.
I mean,
something.
The music has almost become as synonymous with Christmas as the cartoon itself.
And that's a remarkable kind of cultural phenomenon with that. So what is your overall view now that you're an old man?
I still love the basic story of the message of that Christmas is so much more than the commercialism. We always keep going back to that.
Right.
That Christmas should be so much more than commercialism, yet commercialism is really what Christmas seems to be all about.
And you see that in 1965, and it's only gotten worse.
Right.
So, you know, the message in this little simple cartoon, half-hour cartoon, keeps resonating over the years, interestingly enough.
I mean, there's so many great scenes in it.
Oh, I love the segment at the stage playhouse where everybody starts dancing.
Right. And then Linus steps to the stage.
Tell.
Lights, please.
Yes.
And basically says what the true meaning of Christmas is.
And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God, and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
That was really risky back then.
Yeah.
And can you even imagine, again, as we were sitting here in 2013, a religious thing like that is preferred rather than saying, oh, we can't do that.
Right.
You know, we can't do that.
And I think Charles Schulz, who created the Peanuts,
Yes.
also wrote this story.
Yes,
so he not only was really an amazing, illustrator, comic illustrator, he really had an awful lot to say. And I mean, if you read the Peanuts, over the years, he really was a great writer. Also.
I think he was just connected to the zeitgeist of that
What's
particular...
that? Zeitgeist. Sounds like a foreign sports car.
Hello. To that particular time in
Don't use
history.
those big words, Pat. Remember, I'm a simple man.
So what would you give a Charlie Brown Christmas?
I would give this 4 bells. I mean, it's withstood the test of time. They often refer to things as instant classics.
Yes.
Things like this don't become instant classics.
Right.
They have to be around a while,
Right.
okay, to really establish themselves as a classic. And this has been around an awful long time.
Ding, 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 4 holiday bells for a Charlie Brown Christmas.
In our next segment, we'll take a look at 2 holiday treatments from 2 different eras of television shows.
Oh, interesting.
The first-
They're holiday episodes.
Holiday
right?
episodes,
Okay.
yes. The first one will be from the 1950s,
Okay.
a Jack Benny show episode.
Rochester.
And then we'll fast forward to the 1980s. And we'll be taking a look at a holiday episode from the place where everyone knows your name, the classic TV show Cheers.
Nom!
We'll also be doing our yearly review of another Christmas Carol treatment.
Yes, the Charles Dickens classic.
Absolutely, and this time we'll be taking a look at Bill Murray's movie, Scrooged.
That's next time on Pat and Ken at the Holidays.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.